This neighborhood was supposed to be our sanctuary, but it's a battlefield now, and I'm the only one left standing. Last week, I caught Karen from the HOA sniffing around my mailbox at 2 a.m., claiming she was checking for code violations, yeah, right, in her designer heels. I'm Jake, ex-Marine, trained to hunt and survive in places that'd make most people cry for their mommies. My son, Ethan, is 8, all freckles and big dreams of being a pilot. We moved to Pinewood Estates for peace after my wife passed cancer, quick and cruel. The HOA here, led by Karen Whitaker, promised a tight-knit community. Instead, it's a nest of vipers, and Karen's the head snake. Her smile's all teeth, her eyes cold as a winter ditch. She runs this place like a dictator, fining people for untrimmed hedges or unapproved mailbox colors. But I didn't think she'd stoop to kidnapping. It started with petty nonsense. Karen slapped me with a $200 fine for Ethan's bike leaning against our garage, said it disrupted the aesthetic. I ignored it. Then came the letters, typed in Comic Sans, demanding I repaint my front door. It's navy, not black, apparently a crime. I laughed them off, tossed them in the trash. Big mistake. Karen doesn't like being ignored. Last month, she cornered Ethan at the community park, asking him weirdly specific questions about our house, my schedule, even my guns. Just being neighborly, she said. My gut screamed otherwise. Yesterday, it all exploded. I got home from a contracting job, security consulting, keeps my skills sharp, and found Ethan missing. His backpack was on the porch, zipper half open, spilling Pokemon cards. Panic hit me like a sledgehammer. I tore through the house, yelling his name. Nothing. Then I saw it, a note on the kitchen counter, handwritten, and signed. Your son's safe. Follow our rules, or he won't be. No ransom, no demands, just a power play. I knew it was Karen. Her HOA goons had been watching us for weeks, tailing my truck, whispering at their meetings. I grabbed my knife, my Glock, and my old recon gear. This wasn't a neighborhood dispute anymore. This was war. I tracked them to the woods behind the subdivision. Karen's HOA had a community shed out there, supposedly for lawnmowers. Bullshit. It was their hideout. I moved silent, like I was back in Fallujah, every sense dialed to 11. The air stank of pine and gasoline. Then I heard Ethan's voice, small but defiant, my dad's gonna find you. My heart lurched. I crept closer, spotting Karen and 3 of her lackeys, big guys, ex-frat types, probably hired muscle. Ethan was tied to a chair inside the shed, his face streaked with dirt but unbroken. Karen was pacing, waving a forged document claiming I'd signed over custody to her. For the community's safety, she sneered. She thought she could fake an adoption, steal my kid, and sell him off to God knows who. My blood boiled. I didn't think I acted. Burst through the door, knife out, roaring like a goddamn grizzly. One goon swung a bat, I ducked, drove my shoulder into his gut, and he hit the dirt, wheezing. The second guy pulled a taser, but I was faster, slamming his wrist against the wall until it cracked. Karen screamed, clutching her fake papers, and bolted for the woods. The third guy hesitated, big mistake. I tackled him, pinned his arm, and zip-tied him to a pipe. Ethan was crying but safe. I cut him free, hugged him so tight I thought I'd break him. You're okay, buddy, I whispered, voice shaking. But Karen was still out there, and I wasn't done. She thought she could outrun a hunter. Wrong. I tracked her through the forest, her perfume a dead giveaway lavender, too strong for stealth. She was fast, I'll give her that, dodging roots and ducking branches, but I was born for this. I caught her near a clearing, moonlight exposing her panicked face. You don't understand, she shrieked, waving her forged documents like a shield. This neighborhood needs order. Your chaos ruins everything. Chaos? I'd lost my wife, raised my kid alone, and kept my head down. She was the chaos, a petty tyrant drunk on power, willing to destroy a child's life to prove a point. I grabbed her wrist, twisted until she dropped the papers. "You're done, Karen," I growled. She spat in my face, still defiant. I zip-tied her hands, dragged her back to the shed. The cops were already there. Ethan had my phone, called 911 like I'd taught him. Karen's goons were cuffed, the shed crawling with evidence, fake HOA bylaws, forged signatures, even a ledger of bribes she'd taken from developers to push families out. She'd been running a racket, using the HOA as a front to control the neighborhood, extort money, and worse, traffic kids for profit. My stomach churned. As they hauled her away, Karen glared at me, still spitting venom. "You'll regret this, Jake. You're nothing here." I looked at Ethan, holding my hand, his eyes brighter now. "I've got everything I need," I said. The cops found more kids' names in her files, other families she'd targeted. The neighborhood was in shock, but I felt something else, relief, mixed with rage. I'd stopped her, but how many others had she hurt before I caught on? The aftermath was a storm. Pinewood Estates unraveled as Karen's empire collapsed. Police raids on her office uncovered a trove of corruption, bank records showing payoffs from shady developers, emails plotting to drive out undesirable families, and a chilling list of kids targeted for her sick trafficking scheme. The neighborhood WhatsApp group exploded, half in denial, half out for blood. Families who'd cowered under Karen's fines now gathered in the community center, sharing stories of her threats and manipulations. I stood in the back, Ethan asleep on my shoulder, his small hand gripping my jacket. I didn't need their apologies. I just wanted my kid safe. The legal fallout was brutal. Karen and her goons faced charges: kidnapping, extortion, fraud. The DA said she'd be lucky to see daylight before Ethan's grandkids were born. But justice didn't erase the nightmares. Ethan woke up screaming for weeks, seeing Karen's face in the dark. I'd hold him, tell him stories of his mom's courage, how she'd fought cancer with a smile. It helped, but I saw the change in him. His spark dimmed, replaced by a wariness no kid should carry. I blamed myself. If I'd confronted Karen sooner, maybe none of this would have happened. The neighborhood tried to rebuild. A new HOA board formed, led by Mrs. Carter, a retired teacher who baked Ethan cookies and didn't give a damn about mailbox colors. But trust was shattered. People moved out, for sale signs sprouting like weeds. I thought about leaving too, but Ethan loved his school, his friends. This was our home, damn it. I wasn't letting Karen's ghost chase us away. So I fought back in my own way, teaching self-defense classes at the community center, showing parents how to spot predators like her. It wasn't much, but it was something. One night, Ethan drew a picture, me, him, and his mom in the sky, her as an angel. "You saved me, Dad," he said, voice small but steady. I choked up, hugged him tight. We were battered, but we were still standing. Karen had tried to break us, to turn our home into her twisted playground. She failed. But the cost was etched in Ethan's eyes, in the way I checked the locks twice every night. We'd won, but it was a bitter victory, the kind that leaves you hollow. I don't know if Pinewood will ever feel safe again. But I know Ethan and I are tougher than Karen ever bargained for. Her schemes, her fake HOA, her lease theory gone, buried under the truth we exposed. If you're fighting your own Karen, don't wait for her to strike first.